Welcome to Bring Out Your Badass Self, a movement to break your negative thoughts and habits and instead focus on building each other up and encouraging fearless authenticity.
Each week, we will get vulnerable and share experiences alongside our guests and audience. Come rediscover your inner badass self.
Good morning, badass.
Good morning, Kate. How are you doing this morning?
I am good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing much better this morning. And so
yeah, yesterday was a doozy.
Oh my gosh, it was crazy. So my daughter's birthday was officially on Wednesday and I took the day off. Yeah. And we went out and she wanted to go shopping. She wanted to take school. She got off school and it was funny. Her Spanish teacher, Dr. Para, she went up to him and said, okay, I'm going to be out of class on Wednesday. Is there anything that I need to know? She's like, my dad didn't want me to get out, but my mom said it would be okay. And so he started laughing. He goes, well, why are you out? She was like, well, it's my birthday. And he goes, well, that is a good reason. And so then we were out and about and we had been out. We were going to go have lunch first before we ended up going shopping. And we were just about to get to La Madeleine, is where she wanted to go have lunch. And all of a sudden, a friend called her. And she was like, why is my friend calling me? And she was like, hey. And she answered the phone and she was like, oh, yeah, hang on one second. And all of a sudden, she turns and the entire room sings happy birthday to her in Spanish.
Oh, my God.
It was so cute.
Cool.
And so then at the end of the day and everything, I'm seeing emails like left and right from work and stuff like that. Anything that's quick, I'm like quickly responding, but I'm like, today's, the day for my daughter. And so at the evening, like I looked at all the emails that I was getting and it was like nonstop sales. Like it's a good thing, but it was like, oh my gosh, it was so overwhelming. And then the next day it was I was also having challenges with like different things. It was one thing after another, plus all the previous days. So I ended up working like, 13-hour day yesterday to try to catch up. But it was funny. I said to my daughter, I was more talking to my husband, but my daughter was there. And I said, I'm like, tomorrow's going to be hell. It was that night. And Riley goes, I'm sorry. And I was like, no. I'm like, don't you apologize. And I said, today was, for you. And I would not give that away, and change anything. And so like, I was like, I don't want her to feel guilty for me taking off, but it is a lot of work. Like it was a lot to like come back, but I was like, I'm not going to trade. I wouldn't trade it for anything. So. Right.
Yep. Totally. And it's a thing that we do, right? At work, we're like, you might as well not even take a day off. It's so much it's so much work coming back,
but sometimes.
Like, but for, a kiddo who doesn't experience that, they don't get it.
I know exactly. Yeah. Sometimes I think that I should put an out in office the day I come back saying this is a recovery day. Like I was out yesterday, so please give me like an extra day to respond.
Yeah, you probably should. That's a great idea. Honestly, so it's so hard.
What's going on with you? Anything?
Not a ton. What is going on? We made it through the holidays. We had a great Thanksgiving. And then we had we all had colds, and then a bunch of people around us have COVID, so we were worried about that. But I think we're coming out of it.
Yes, so, I know you had been sick. You were a little sick last Friday. On the show, and then it got a little worse, and so
yes,
I'm glad to hear you're better.
Yeah. Yep. I'm doing fine. I'm doing great. So things are good. No, it's the first day of December. And so my family, I don't know, Christmas is such a huge deal for us. So they were having countdowns, and Zadie yesterday said, I'm pretty sure I'm going to stay awake until I see December. So, and I'm sure I'll be the only one. I bet his older brothers also saw December last night, but very cute, and excited that it's the first day of the December season.
Yeah. Well, I see we have multiple people online, so please say hello to us and let us know that you are here. I do see that Renee is on, and she said,
Good
"Hi, badass."
morning.
Yeah, good to see your beautiful faces. You know, Renee, it's been a couple of weeks or a few weeks, I think, since we've seen you. We were actually talking about that, so we're so glad that you're able to get on today.
Yeah, we've missed you, Renee.
Yeah. And if you are new to our show, please also just give us a white heart or, whatever type of heart that you would like to do. I do see it looks like a new face and probably here to support Lorri. So we have another Lorri that is saying hello. So welcome, Lorri. And so,
nice to see you.
Yeah, Myra's joining us. Good morning, ladies. And
Good
so we can see your
morning.
name this morning. That's awesome. Oh, and Lorri said she is new. So she gave us a heart. And Renee saying, I missed you too. And then we have a Facebook user. Oh, it's Jenna. And so she said, good morning, badass lovers or loves. I was like, she said, if it doesn't show me, it's not showing you. But for anybody that wants to be shown, you can always go to streamyard.com/Facebook. LinkedIn has a different process for that. And then we also have YouTube. So, so it looks like Lorri that's joining. She volunteers with Lorri. So that's great.
Welcome, Lorri, another Lorri.
Yeah. Oh, it looks like Carrie's joining us. Happy December. November, for me, it did not blow by just because it was like nonstop birthdays, I felt like.
Right.
Thanksgiving. Yes. Yep. She said it came by for a Thanksgiving to go plate and left immediately.
Yes.
For a Thanksgiving go plate.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I cooked my first Thanksgiving meal.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yes, because my dad had always done it for years and years. And then when my mom died, I did a very small Thanksgiving, and I didn't even do the turkey because my father-in-law was still alive. So he did the turkey. So this year, because Thanksgiving's been weird because my mom died so close to it. So this year, I decided to just like kind of pour myself into it and really focus on the food. So I did that, and I spatchcocked the turkey, which is when you like split it and like kind of like fillet it out almost. And I had never done a turkey before, but I decided to do this, and it was really fun, and it worked out really well. Awesome. So yeah, even though I was still a little under the weather, we had a really great time. Yes. So it was awesome. That's great. I would say the highlight for my kiddos was our friend Chuck he had been abstaining from alcohol because he was on a certain medication. Oh. And then when he was off the medication, it was kind of like his first time drinking on Thanksgiving. And he drank a little too much and a little too fast, and he fell asleep on the couch. And our kids, who really like haven't been around, like they've never seen that happen. Not that it's like a big deal or anything, but they were like, what is going on? And they were like, it seems like he's not just sleeping because we're touching him and he's not moving. And so we were like, oh, okay. What do you mean you're touching him? I'm like, oh, we're drawing on his face. So,
oh my goodness.
Poor Chuck left Thanksgiving with his face covered in marker, but
permanent?
That's what it is. No, dry erase. But yeah. But yeah.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. He did not mind. He said he deserved it, but it was very fun.
Oh my goodness. All right. Well, today we're going to bring on Lorri Brown, and we're going to have her do a little bit of an introduction to her. She, just so you know, she looks amazing, but she also did have a late night. And so she is a nonstop worker. And so let's bring Lorri on. So give me just a second. And so there we go. Good morning, Lorri. How you doing?
I'm doing good, ladies. How you guys doing?
We're doing well. You look fabulous, especially telling me that you've been up so late.
7 days a week.
I hear you.
Yeah.
I see it in everything that you do. So, just as an introduction for our audience, can you tell us a little bit about the organizations that you work with and what it is that they do?
Okay. I have my own nonprofit. It's called Dream Chasers 21 Inc. We're located here in Lawrenceville, Georgia. We provide food, furniture, clothing. Um, at times, I'm able to help people that don't have jobs. I connect with employers, and I can help someone who doesn't have a job get a job. We also assist seniors and veterans, and we do various things for homeless individuals.
Yeah.
Wow. This is amazing. When did you start it in 21? Is that why the name is 21, or did you
Well,
start?
I started it in 2011, and I
Okay.
named it after my father after he passed, Calvin Stennis Foundation, CDC Foundation. And
Okay.
after he died, and my mom got sick, and I got my mom, and she became so inspirational in it till I decided, I said, you know what? Because she's always had a heart for kids succeeding. She said, a child can only succeed by their dreams. She said, if a
Mm.
child has a dream in their heart, they can be what they want to be. So I was like, wow, dream. I'm like, Mama, that's like chasing a dream. And we laughed about it. And she said, dream chase it. And then I thought about it. Wow, dream chasers. And then you're right. I took the 21 from our conversation. And that's when I said, let me
Ah,
rename this. And I got more focused on kids um, coming out of there, what it is that they want to be. They have
yeah,
ambitions, they have goals. But if there's nobody there that's pushing them towards that, it just goes away. So I want to
right.
be able to help them and to push them towards their dreams so that they know they can be what they want to be.
I love that. That's
Thank you.
wonderful. I love that you were honoring your parents in both with both names, which kind
Right.
of I think leads us to our first question,
Mhm.
which is, if you could tell us a little bit about your childhood and like specifically, like you can share whatever you want, but
Okay.
um, we're interested, and we think our audience will be interested in knowing kind of what inspired you as you were growing up, because
Okay. I
before all
grew
this, there had to be something there, right? That
Yeah,
wanted
I'm
you
probably the
to.
only nut that stays up to 2 o'clock every night trying to help everybody in a situation. So it had to come from somewhere. That dream came out of somewhere with me. So what
Yeah, for
happened?
sure.
I come from a family with nine. I was the baby. And we come from a pretty wealthy family. My father was a wealthy man. And like I explained to Sarah, I always wondered why are all these strangers, as a little girl, I'm wondering why are all these strangers knocking on our door? And I would see daddy go to the door and just hand them money, just give them money. Strange people. We didn't even know who they were. And I just couldn't
Wow.
figure out why is he doing this? So one day I
Yeah.
decided, let me ask. So when I asked, he explained to us, he said, we're blessed. He said, so it's a blessing to be a blessing. He said, if somebody else is in need and you got it to give, you give it. And my mom then explained, when you open your hand, God will open his. He'll give it back to you 10 times. So I began
Mm.
seeing that. And as a little girl, like 8, 9, I would go to school because, like I say, we were wealthy. My dad gave us a nice bit of allowance for we had to make good grades and we had to know how to cook. As long as we made those good grades, we got a nice allowance every Friday. So I was a little girl. So I'm saving mine because I'm already spoiled. They doing everything for me.
Right.
I'm saving mine. But when I would go to school and I see a child with some rundown shoes or something, I just get in my purse and hey, take this $50 and tell your mom go buy you some shoes. So it
Oh,
started there with me, and my parents didn't know I was doing it. So it started there with me starting doing what kind of duplicating what I saw my dad doing. And I just
mhm.
realized that not too long ago, I was like, wow, I'm really duplicating what he did in a
Mhm.
big sense. So it just started there with me, and it just magnified with me. And I just always, my mom has always been a Christian all her life. She had a heart for people. And I just realized I was that same way. I have a heart for people. And it just, no matter what I do to try to, you know what, it's not what I want to do. It's like, God, like, oh no, you're going to do it. And I'm like, okay, I'm stuck with this. So it's really the heart. You have to have the heart. It can't be about a month. Let me get in this for money, and you don't have the heart. I sometimes don't have the money, but I got the heart. But then I take it to God, and He blesses me with the money to match the heart to do what I need to do. So therefore, I know everything I know is touched by Him. Everything I do is touched by Him. It's lined up by Him, because any need that I have come across my plate, 9 times out of 10, it will get met. So that lets me know I am doing what I'm called to do. Is it hard work? Yes, it is. Do I meet the worst of the worst? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. But still, I it's just my heart. I can't change it. I've tried to change it. I don't want to. I tell people now, this God, this not me. Because if it was me, I wouldn't be doing this. This is God. This is God. The calls I get every morning, it's anointed by Him. He lines it up. And by the time the day goes by and I connect this one with this one, with this one, with this one, and the need is met, we all sit back and look and say, wow, look how He orchestrated that need and used me to get to this one, to get to this one, to get to this one. And we come together and put it together, and now that need is met. That's God. That's not me. That's God. So basically, all my life, I've been a giver. And after my father passed, my mom still, I give more credit to her as far as just being more people oriented. He had the money. So if you come to him with money, that you got the money. Mama had the conversation with the heart. You know what I'm saying? You can, and she's go, oh, child, you know God got you. He love you. He don't care what you eat. She got the conversation with it. So bringing the conversation with it made a person feel worthy. And they're like, wow, your mom, man, if it wasn't for her, oh, she made me feel so good about myself. I could go out now and do things because of the things your mom said. So she was the conversationalist with it. Where Daddy was really, here, you need this, here you go. That was it with him. But my mom was the forefront of it. And even at 91, I see Lorri's online. And even at 91, Lorri can tell you that, my gosh, my mom got in it full force. Like, oh yeah, this is what we do. When we gave out food, she's sitting right there, you know, hey, come out, baby, you know, come out. And the kids just flocked toward it. It was like, oh my goodness. And she'll ask them, what do you want to be? And they'll tell her, you're going to be just that. That's exactly what you're going to do. So she got into this with me this last year, full force, and we took it by storm. We took it by storm. So when she died last year, August the 23rd. I do have my husband brought this in for me. I don't know if everybody could see it, but this is her here. So she died last year, October 23rd. And I just felt like, I said, you know what? Now Mama's gone. I can let it go. But it's like, it's weird to explain it. It's like she sits up high and she said, no, you can't, baby. They still need you. You got to do it. They need you. And it's times I just want to just give up. When I see so many homeless people out here, I can't help everybody. So when I see them, it's like she's saying, do what you can. Just do what you can, baby. You got this. Do what you can. So in a sense, she's leading me. And I know that may sound real crazy to a lot of people, but I know for a fact she's still here and she's leading me and she's watching me every step of the way. So in honor of her, for me being who I am, I will do this until the day I die. Until the day I can't walk anymore. Until the day I can't do no more than I can do. Thank God I have Lorri, because she is my backbone. She's my right hand. Me and her get in there and we do it together. Carmen Long, she's another one that's right there, and we get it together and we do it together. I have the support of Next Door here in Gwinnett. All I have to do is just put the need out, and they trust me enough to know that I'm going to do what I say I'm going to do. We do it together. We do it as a community. We get it done together. But it's so many other people out here that I just don't have the funds to reach everybody or to meet the needs of everybody. And like Sarah and I was discussing, it's not just for Christmas or Thanksgiving or anniversary. This need goes past Christmas. It goes past Thanksgiving. You was talking about your Thanksgiving. Somebody asked me the other day, how was your Thanksgiving? As I was cooking Thanksgiving, I had 33 people come by for meals as I'm cooking my own Thanksgiving. So I didn't eat because I had so many people coming for food. Friday after Thanksgiving, when you think people are out shopping for the sales,
Right.
Hello, hi, we didn't have nothing for Thanksgiving. Do you have anything? Sure, baby, come pick it up at my house. I had more people on Friday that needed food. Saturday, we had more people that needed food. I didn't rest until Sunday. Because all these people needed food. And they had nowhere else to turn. But they could turn to me. I come get it. I will make sure you have what you need. We got freezers, refrigerators in the garage, like a grocery store. So I'm going to make sure you have what you need.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah,
I think that's fantastic. And so it was modeled to you growing up, and it became just a part of who you are.
Yeah, I'm the
and
only
then
one.
you get this.
I'm the baby. Nobody else. Nobody else. I'm the baby. And most of my sisters and brothers are old enough to be my mother. So I'm the baby. So you would think the older ones would have picked up. No, they like, oh, that's so good. You have somebody, and they go on. But I'm the one, like, wow, the last one gets stuck with this. One of my sisters told me, she said, well, you was the one that ran up and asked the question. So we saw it. We didn't ask. You run up and ask the question. Well, I wanted to know. Why?
But I think that also plays into the fact that everybody has a calling. Everybody has a purpose. And so as we start to look at the thing that was your mother was seeing more in people and seeing what their dreams are. Your dad was a provider. He was, let me help you in how it is I can help you. And then you have found where your talents lie. And I think for me, that is the biggest thing, is that when everyone looks at how it is that they can give back, it may not be the way you do it. It may not be the way I do it. It's finding our own talent, our own calling in whatever it is. And a lot of times it might also be because of challenges we've either seen or challenges we've gone through or whatever it is, the lessons that we were supposed to learn that then provide us what that calling is.
Exactly right. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And it is my calling. It's my calling. When I met my husband, he was doing the same thing in Illinois. So it's like click, and we became double, So it is truly my calling, because I really don't have a life. I don't have a life. So any other husband would probably say, you know what? Every time I turn around, you helping somebody, it's midnight, you're on the computer, you talking to somebody on the phone, bye. But he's right here in the trenches with me. What do you need? I got it. I will. Okay, no problem. This is what we do. This is what we do. And it's nonstop. When I wake up in the morning, I have at least 10 calls I've missed already. It's nonstop. I have emails, texts. It's nonstop. So I got to now stop and say, okay, how can I help this person? Now, Sarah will tell you I can be a booger bear because I don't just say, oh, you got a need, let me give you this. Oh, no, I'm going to check your story out.
Yeah.
It's too many
Okay.
scammers, too many people that's decided, well, I don't want to work. I just let somebody else do it. No. We're not doing it that way here. You have to give something to get something. And I like to see somebody doing something for themselves. And then I could come in, the little tad bit I do, help get you to where you're going. Now you're self-sufficient to keep going. But as far as just sitting around, not working, and just, somebody owe me this, I'm gonna, no, that's not how life is. I work at 58 years old, and I don't want to work, but I do. So I think everybody needs to have something that they're doing to be positive. And if you need a little help along the way, you got great neighbors that's willing to help you along the way. But we're not just going to hand it out just to hand out something and you're not doing anything with it. No.
Yeah, that's one of the things I really loved about Lorri as I got to know her. And so just so you know, I actually connected to, I'm not even sure how I found your page. And so I ended up happening across her page and I joined it and I was like, oh, this is interesting. And so I just like monitored it for a little bit and I saw just the nonstop work that she did. And I'm going to pull up some other comments, so Lorri, she's got endless late night. She never stops. Someone else, saying Lorri's awesome. And then, God provides. And then someone else that talks about, yes, it does take a community.
It does.
And Renee here saying, you're amazing, God bless you. And so, so I think that the key thing to keep in mind is that as Lorri is helping people, she also is good at the research aspect. Like she's willing to pick up some phone calls and say, like, what do you know about this person? And, even people they're connected to or whatever it might be, to research them to make sure that they're not scamming, the people that are willing to help and willing to give.
Right.
So.
I love that. So many people have opinions around those in need. And I think you've kind of really like found a wonderful balance, right? Like,
Yes.
so, you recognize how much energy it takes to do what you do. And you have enough self-respect to say, you know what, I'm not going to be taken advantage of. I'm still going to have boundaries.
Absolutely not.
Right, because
no one else. I'm going to make sure I keep anyone else from being taken advantage of. Absolutely not. That's not right. That's not what we're here for. That's not the purpose. So
right.
No.
Yes. And I love how your faith played a role in this, right? I mean, we can call it source, we can call it God, we can call it the universe, but there's this higher power. And, if you align yourself with a calling, what you really know you're being called to do from something beyond yourself, you're an example of what you can do when you align yourself with where you should be. Right?
Exactly.
Like, this is so clearly where you should be.
It's where I should be.
Yeah. And it's your faith and your dedication and all these things that drive you to be there. But I love your approach of it's not all rose colored, right?
No.
It's a lot of work. And there are times when even just the work itself makes you want to give up because there's so much need.
Yeah. And I think the other thing is that you have a community behind you. And so one of the things that I have found as well is when you're on your purpose, when you are doing what you're supposed to do, all of a sudden you start to get the right type of people there to also help support you. And so everyone finds their purpose. Like they may not be the front person, for example. They may be the person that is doing something. And all of those roles play into helping everyone, because Lorri couldn't do it on her own. Lorri, needs that group, that community, that
That's
pride
right.
those people that are supporting the overall effort. And so,
Yes.
so I do want to call out that you have a lot of people in the background that also help
Oh
as
yes.
well.
Oh yes. We have Singleton Law Firm. They're a big supporter of us. Bubba's 33 Restaurant. They're a big supporter of us.
Mm,
Trader Joe's, Whole Foods, Walmart. Um, the list goes on. We have a lot of different people that supports
yeah,
us really, really well. We have a lot of private people that supports us really, really well.
yeah,
So we, like I say, it's not, we're getting ready for Christmas, giving the kids their Christmas toys and everything. But like I told Sarah, it goes past Christmas. What happens
Mm.
after Christmas? You know what I'm saying? So the need is there yearly, daily. It's not just about us making sure these kids have their toys for Christmas. We
exactly.
have a sincere need now because with the rents as high as they are now, we got more seniors living. We got senior citizens 70 and over living in cars, parking at where they can at night, scared. They reach out to me 2 and 3 in the morning. I've missed something from a senior. Hey, I'm so scared. Da, 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 da. I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do? And that's tearing on me because my mom was a senior. And there's no way I would have had my mom in a car. Lori has a mom that's a senior. And that's just not what's gonna happen. But when a senior don't have anybody, they gotta depend on somebody. And all of them are coming to me. And I don't have the means to help them because they're on limited incomes. They can't afford 12, 13, $1,400 in rent because some of them don't even get but $1,000 a month. So
Right.
what do we do with them? What do we do with them? So it's different
Yeah.
things. I'm trying to find a lot of people that's willing to rent rooms out. I did find a lady last week. She was on the street and I touch bases with her every day. She had a dog and she said, well, he's eating, but I'm not eating. I'm like, what do you mean you're not eating? She said, I don't have enough for me. I'm feeding him. I said, well, then let me, you got cash out? She said, no, I have PayPal. I said, well, let me PayPal you some money because you need to eat. She was shocked. She
Mm.
said, I can't believe you've done that. So the next day, a lady come by my house, left something on the porch. She said, Lori, something told me to bring you this bag of dog food. All I did was looked up. I said, well, I'll be. So I contacted her. I said, I got some dog food for you. See what I'm saying? How God aligned the situation. This lady didn't even
Yeah.
know I was helping her, but she brought dog food and left it on my porch. So I give her the dog food and I give her some more money for herself. Now, a lady reaches out to me. She said, Lori, help me find a roommate. I'm looking for an elderly woman. It has to be a woman that's quiet and clean to stay in my house with me that can afford $600. The lady had already told me, she said, I'm just looking for somewhere for $600.
Wow.
So I'm like, wow, okay. I put the two together. They met. They are the best of friends right now. It worked out perfectly.
Aww.
It worked out perfectly. I mean, it's like they're two sisters. It worked out
Wow.
perfectly. So now she has a home and she hits me up every day. Thank you. I don't know what I'd do without you. Thank you. They are perfect together. Now, if I can find other situations like that to where I can get some of these other seniors in, I'm working on that. I can do that. But it's so hard. You guys, it is so hard. And so many people now are sleeping in their cars. And it's like,
Mm.
what, how did we get here? Sleeping in a car. I don't sleep in
Right.
my car. I would never want to sleep in my car. So that's the reason I do work, so that I can make sure I don't have to sleep in a car. But you got seniors that have worked all their lives. And now this is where they at. You got veterans that fought for our country. And this is what they get.
Right.
So it's kind of, I don't want to go there, but it's kind of unbalanced in a way because to me, some of the system with the younger people that's on the system, they should revamp that a little bit more to me. I don't think
Mhm.
the system was designed to live on for life. I'm sorry. I just don't. I think it's a
Yeah, no.
temporary thing. if I'm 18 and now I'm 45 and I'm still living on this system, I don't think that, no, I just don't
Yeah.
agree with that. I don't agree with that at all. From 18 to 45,
Right.
you still on the system. You never worked a day in your life. I don't know. I think that should be revamped. And
Yeah.
I think more should be given to our seniors and our veterans because they did work all their lives. They did put in the system, but now they're out here homeless. And this is something that we're battling with. Lorri helps me with this on a daily basis. This is something that we're battling with, and we're trying to be able to find the resources to help these people. So that's
Yeah.
where I am right now. We're at the Christmas mode where we're trying to
Mhm.
come together with
Mhm.
our Christmas,
Right.
but we're at the what's after Christmas.
Right.
That's what keeps going through my head. What's happening after Christmas?
So, Lorri, the obvious things there are food. So, people need food. People need money to help with their rent, with their
Mhm.
gas. Like I've seen things, like their gas bill was a lot more, or their electric bill was a lot more, things like that. So, what are some of the other things? So, you mentioned even like people that have an extra spare room, and maybe they're wanting someone to be able to have as a roommate. Maybe they can't afford, and therefore they have a room that they can rent. And so finding someone in that way. What are some of the other ways that maybe people don't even realize that they could have given back in a particular way? What are some of the other ways you're connecting people in what it is that I got to tell you, I get mad at my husband because he likes to just throw stuff away, and I'm like, don't throw that stuff away. I'm like, other people need stuff,
Other
and
people need
so
it.
like I get mad.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so I actually have I've been going through my closet and stuff like that, and I actually have a bunch of clothes that I was planning on giving to you.
Clothes.
Yeah,
Clothes, furniture,
Yeah.
furniture. A lot of people that are homeless, when they get up on their feet, guess what? Now they're gonna need furniture. They finally got a place. I have a lady right now, she's gonna lose her storage if she don't pay her storage, but in 2 months she'll have an apartment. So if she loses the storage, once she gets the apartment in 2 months, guess what?
She won't have anything. Yeah.
She won't have anything. So I have a lot of people that's always needing furniture. And again, God seems to connect the dots to the ones that every time they need something, this person just told, oh, that person have a bed. We connect that. And that person, hey, I know somebody got a refrigerator. It connects, and everybody gets what they're wanting. I had a young lady 2 weeks ago just called me out the clear blue. And I remember the lady had a bed. And then I said, well, what else do you need? And when she told me the things she needed, I was telling Lorri and the rest of my board members, I stopped everything I was doing. God told me, he said, give her your stuff. And I'm like, well, I just bought that. Give it to her. So I'm looking at my things I just bought. I'm like, okay. And I went on to do something else. God said, I said, give her your stuff. And I'm like, okay, okay, God, I'm mad again. I just bought it for myself, but I'm gonna do what you said. After I put it towards the front door, the spirit say, give her the pictures off the wall. Huh? I just started taking everybody in the house, like, what are you doing? I said, this young lady coming with a U-Haul to get stuff, and I'm just doing what God told me to do. I started taking pictures. My daughter-in-law saw me doing it. She said, well, I take mine down too. I said, yeah, get yours too. Yeah, get yours too. So we just started taking the pictures off the wall. I started looking in closets. I had stuff with price tags. Give it. I said, okay. I just started giving it. Then I get a phone call from a lady. She said, hey, I got a living room set. Do you know anybody? I said, oh my goodness. It's a lady coming in with a U-Haul truck. She needs it. So she went, picked up the living room set first. Then she came to my house. The next day, she went 3 more places that people called me for that I sent her from. The girl has a furnished apartment that's awesome. Looks like it's a magazine apartment. It's beautiful. So when I saw my stuff sitting there, she showed the pictures and I saw my new stuff sitting there. I was like, you know what, God? that's where it was supposed to be. It's okay. That's where it's
Right.
supposed to be. Now, mind you, I talked to my board members and told them this story. About 2 days later, I went to my mailbox. And when I got to the mailbox, it was my name, just my name, no return address. And when I looked at the back of the envelope, it said, keep doing what you're doing. I'm like, what is this? When I opened the envelope up, $1,500 in cash.
What?
In cash, no note, no nothing. I don't even know who to thank.
Wow.
I don't even know who to thank. But I sat back and I said, Mama, you right. When you let go of your hand, open your hand, he'll open his.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what you put out comes back.
It comes back.
It's all energy. It's
Yes.
all energy.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Yes.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah. And I think that, you know, so everyone, as you think about, I have our page for our community. And then there's also all these other pages. And I see people that'll post like things for free, for example. So I think that the key thing to also think about are organizations like this that are around you. Like we do it to the people around us, but do the people around us always really need it? Or should we maybe look at organizations like this? So it makes us think a little bit differently as we're doing those types of things. And I would imagine, Lorri, one of the other things that you could use is a lot of times I see, I need this, but I have no way of getting stuff. So even people that can help move, like maybe that's your talent. So when we think about things, it's not always, you know, the giving. It might be the service. It might be the things that you can do to be able to physically help someone. And that's what you can do. That's where you're able to give back. So what are some of the other things like that also, like, let's say, and I've seen some people, they're like, you know, I don't really have a lot to give, but I'm giving you $5, you know,
I have that.
A lot.
Yeah. We're probably gonna next year, we're gonna get ready to structure something like that to put in place to where someone don't have the means to get something. We're gonna have volunteers that's willing. I am getting now a lot of people that's retiring and they want to give back in a way. So they're saying, hey, if you need me to take food to a senior, you need me to pick up something, you need me to do this. That's what we're gonna get ready to do now, is have people that's right here with us that I could call up and say, hey, I do need you to take some food to Mr. Joe, you know.
Yes. Uh-oh. We lost Lorri. So I know she was having some issues with AT&T. I'm going to take her off for a second. As she joins us back, we'll add her back. And so Kate, I really just love this story. I love Lorri's energy. She is nonstop. I witness it on the page. And so like she is just constantly helping people. And I'm going to bring up some of the other comments that people you know, have stated. So Lorri, who works with her, said $5 is a lot if you don't have it. And people think it's such a small donation. For a lot of people, it's not. And I see that all the time. Like I'll see comments like, I really don't have it, but I'm going to give $5. And it really is.
If everybody gives $5.
Exactly.
Then we have it. Yeah.
Yep. And so Lorri also mentioned that, you know, unfortunately, Gwinnett doesn't have a lot of resources like some of the other counties do. And that's the specific county that we're in. And then I'll wait for her to come back to pull up some of these other ones. But someone else said, you know, the needs can be overwhelming at times. And hey, doggy. And so it really can. And I think that one of the things that people need to also continue to think about is think about all of the clothes or all of the things that we just sort of go, you know, I don't really need this. Thinking about not throwing those things away and finding an organization around you that you then can give to.
Yep. Yep. I think that's really important. I think coming together as a community and donating little amounts to kind of get to a bigger amount. I also think like, it sounds like Gwinnett doesn't have a lot of resources. And so, these needs,
Which surprises me, honestly.
Yeah, right. These needs are everywhere, no matter what. But I know, like here in our county, which can be a fine, like somewhat of an affluent county, there's always areas where there's gaps, right? So like in our county, there's a huge gap around foster care.
Yeah.
And then, so that's why Jenna and I have put our energy towards that, because we don't, raising our kids, we don't have a ton to give out or to do. So I would, try to inspire our audience to, look for those ways to help year round.
Yeah.
And if you feel better giving when you know that it's going to have an impact, then look for the ways that there are gaps in our social systems. There are huge gaps, and whether it's not across the board, there might be gaps in little areas that you can support.
Yep. She is back. So she had her electricity to give out.
I'm in the dark. Everybody in my neighborhood's in the dark.
Oh my goodness.
We were just bringing up some of the amazing comments, by the way, that were there. And so I did want to bring up some of the other ones. Give me just a second. Where is the one? There it is. So Carrie was saying, where there's a will, there's a way. Great job.
Thank
Lorri,
you, Carrie.
Yeah. And so we were talking about organizations, and Lorri says, there are quite a few organizations on the Dream Chasers 2021 site, who can use the donations of clothing and household items. And so I think one of the things we were trying to talk about is people being proactive and understanding the resources that are around them and the type of things that when you think that it might be trash, it may not really be trash,
That's right.
So that's what I try to get my husband to understand is that I'm like, I grew up differently. I grew up that we saved a lot. And I also watched my great aunt, who's actually going to be 100 in February. But my husband was amazed by her because we would go and she would take the ketchup packet and she'd pull the ketchup out. She'd take the salt, she'd put the salt in. And he was just like, like, what is she doing? And I'm like, she lived through the Great Depression. Like they were taught to save anything and everything and make something out of something.
Yeah. I also work with doctors at Emory. They will call me and tell me about one of their patients, and they say, hey, is there any way you guys can get them food? So I have a lot of patients from Emory that we also just take meals, weekly meals, or I have somebody that'll say, hey, I got a little extra. Anybody need groceries? I'm like, yeah, I know some seniors. So I have people like that as well that we support because of doctors knowing their patients, knowing that the patient's not eating. They will, it's private and confidential, but they will let us know, hey, can you do this for this patient? And I'm like, sure.
Yeah. Well, I could imagine that those individuals also could use help from doctors, like dentists and doctors, to just be able to see people and also help them, because if they can't eat, if they're having trouble finding food, the last thing that they have money for is now to have to deal with some type of tooth issue or some type of medical thing. So I can imagine in that way, I mean, everyone, if you really think about it, in what it is that they do could give back in some way, whatever your skill set is. So it might be building something for someone. It might be helping someone with their car from a mechanic perspective. So, I mean, across the board, everyone, even if you just did a little bit, like every month, I'm going to donate my time just to help one person.
Right.
Yeah.
And you can team up. So, it goes a long way, and you can do it in different ways, So I knew this woman, she was affluent. and she was on a lot of boards. She was doing a lot of things. She was always fundraising and donating money. And we were part of an organization that fed homeless shelters. And we did that regularly. Our kids are very passionate about homeless people and always have been. So I have lots of stories around that. But one of the stories I think could be useful for our audience in that, this woman, she knew that we did a lot of cooking, and she's like, I want to fund that. I would love to fund the meal for, Maida House, this place in Milwaukee, but I don't have the time, to make the meal. And so we were able to pick up an extra shift every month because she would send us a gift card, so like we were doing what we could do. And then she enabled us to do more. We had the time to do the cooking,
right,
and the time to do the serving, but we didn't have in our budget to add on additional days every month, and so we were able to do that. It was a great combo. And you don't think of those things all the time. So I want to inspire people to get creative and thinking about the ways that they can help.
Right. Exactly. That was wonderful.
Yeah.
Everything you're doing is wonderful, Lorri. It's amazing.
Well, thank you, Kate. Thank you. I have a great support team behind me, and that's what makes it even fabulous, because we all stand for the same thing. We're all on the same page, and we all have the heart to help somebody. So God bless me with this. So like I said, it's all him. It's not me. It's all him.
Look, Lorri, I was curious. You've helped a lot of people over the years. Do you have one or maybe a couple that sort of stand out that you just go, wow, I cannot believe that one came together? Or, that something that just like even further inspired you, that you just couldn't believe that whatever happened came together?
Yeah, I do. Last Christmas, as a matter of fact, Lorri, if I'm wrong, correct me, but I think this was last Christmas. I get confused since Mama died, but I think it was last Christmas. If not, it was Christmas before last. Lady calls me up. I was in the dollar store. I was getting ready. As a matter of fact, we was getting ready for Christmas again. Lady calls me up in the dollar. I was in the dollar store, and she said that, hey, I have 4 little girls, and the kids are picking on them because obviously, you know how kids are. Oh, we got a Christmas tree. Oh, we got this. And her girl, they didn't have anything. All she wanted was a Christmas tree so that the kids would stop picking on her kids and they can go to school now and say, we got a tree. So Home Depot is another one of my sponsors. I immediately got on the phone with Home Depot. I said, listen, I'll be there. Where's the manager? I need a tree. This family is going to have a tree. And when I got there, the manager said, pick the most expensive, prettiest tree you can find and take it to them. So we did. Got a real nice, pretty big tree. I called her up. I said, what's your address? I got something for you. She had no idea. So when I took the tree, the little girls was 3, 4, and 6, 2 twins and 6. So they little pretty little girls. They were like, oh my goodness, we got a tree. They tweet for us. They tweet for us. We go to school and we got a tweet. And I was like, oh, how sweet. That was so sweet. So I took a picture, and all she asked for was a tree. So I took a picture and I put it on Nextdoor to show people just how simple little kids think of something. To us, a tree, but for them, that was everything. Just so the kids will stop picking on them. That was everything to those little girls. If they wouldn't have had nothing else, they had their tree. Well, after I put it up, people started asking me, well, what are we going to do for the girls? I'm like, yeah, right. We do need to do something for the girls. Then people say, well, what about the mom? What does she need? I'm like, oh, yeah, okay. Look, by the time Christmas came, the living room in their home, those little girls didn't know what happened. It took 5 hours to open their gifts.
Oh my goodness.
People start pouring. They were sending me money, gift cards, everything. get the girls this. People was coming to my house, dropping off something. Everybody had at least 3-4 items for each girl. Their whole dining room and living room was full of gifts. Now, this lady reached out to me and she said, don't you think that you shouldn't have done that because those kids will anticipate something big like that every year? And that was just a once in a lifetime instant that turned out like that. But when I got to know this mother and we got to know those kids, even if they had that tree and didn't have one thing under it, they was grateful for a tree because she's taught them that way. So this year, I still keep in contact with them. They became, the girls kind of like my little granddaughters now because they think I'm Santa's elf, you know. Right. Santa's elf, you know. So I asked them not too long ago, I said, what do you girls want for Christmas this year? They say, well, we have everything we need. We don't need anything for Christmas. And see the difference in how she's taught her children to be grateful for what you have. And if you don't have it, it's okay. But they are happy with that same tree from last year. Nothing's under it yet for this year. And they happy with that same tree. So when that came together out of nowhere for us, because people was like coming to me like, hey, we got to do this, we got to do that, make sure these girls they can't just have a tree. Let's make sure they have everything they need. And it just, I never imagined that it would be like that, where the dining room and the living room was full of gifts, and it took them 5 hours to open everything.
Wow.
And the mother has cancer. So that made it was last Christmas. Okay, thanks, Lord. So that made it even better because she has cancer. And that just, and you know, people just felt her. They felt the story. You know, little girls here with their mom sick. So they felt the story. And this year she's not really back up to par. She's not getting better. But we're gonna do something for them this year as well. But even if you didn't do anything, they happy with the tree.
Yeah.
Wonderful. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
Yeah, Lorri, if you could give advice to our audience with anything else that they might consider or things that they can do. I know that one of the things you had mentioned is that you had, unfortunately, a sponsor that was going through something on their own this year. And that was someone that was a significant sponsor for you. What is it that our audience, you know, that you could either give as far as advice for people in giving back, or also how it is that they could help your organization or other organizations that are around us? Any other things that you might be able to leave us with?
There's a need every day. And there's more needs than all of the organizations can handle, to be honest with you. We got some great organizations in our county, Streetwise, Lawrenceville Co-op, Southeast Gwinnett Co-op. These are some organizations I also deal with. Lorri deals with a great organization as well. And everybody can use something. Anything, just like you said, what you told your husband, anything that you think you have that's not of use, trust me, I have somebody that can use it, whether it's food, whether it's furniture, whether it's clothing, monetary, somebody can use something. We have seniors that's always in need of medications and stuff. So they don't have the funds for that sometimes because they have to pay co-pays and stuff. So we have those situations. With kids going to school, Lorri and I are going to help a young lady. She reached out on the page and she said her little boy in some kind of program, he don't even have the shirt that he needs to be in the program. So Lorri reached out to me. She said, hey, I'm going to help her. I said, I was going to help her too. So I reached out to her. I said, fine with there's no way this little boy going to be in his Christmas program and he don't have what he needs.
Right.
Go today. Let me and Lorri know the price. We will send you the money, and you go get this little boy what he needs, because he's not going to be standing there the only oddball for these mean
Right.
bullying kids. Oh, you don't have what you need. No, he's going to have what he needs. And I told him, you make sure you get the best. If he needs something, I want him to have. That's what my mom would have said. Baby, go get the best you can find for him, so he can outshine the rest of them that's picking on him. You go get the best for him and let Lorri and I know, and we'll take care of it. So the needs are great. The organizations, they need the food. They need the monetary donations, because the monetary donations helps us to pay people utility bills. I just made a connection with the Gwinnett County Water Department, and it's a great connection that where I can help more people, where we don't have to come in our pockets now to help. I can help more people through a program they have there. So it's a lot of things that go on in the organization. Money is always needed, but it's not about money. Food, furniture, clothing, back to school items. Your kids may have gone to college, and you look around and you got some paper and some pencils. You'd be surprised if I put on that page, who needs some paper and pencils? How many people gonna come down that line and say, my child does? So it's simple things that a struggling family is trying to maintain, paying the bills just to keep a roof over my head. Now this made me have a lack in this area, because I need to keep a roof over my head for these kids. So there's so much. It's so much that you can do. So I just advise people, even if it's not my organization, you're still going to help my sister organization somewhere. Just reach out to an organization. What can I do? What can I do to help you? Volunteering, that's another one.
I was going to say that. Yeah.
We all need volunteers. We all need volunteers to step up and help us, because we, like you said, we cannot do this alone. We are a community. We pull together to do what we do. And I am just blessed that when I have that need, people come through. They come through. They're coming through. And if they don't come through, then I run to my husband and say, okay, I'm going to have to, write this check and pray that. He said, okay, Lorri, don't bounce them too much, but, and, don't let it be a basketball too much. And I go write that check. And I went in a store one day. I had just wrote a check to make sure this lady had somewhere to stay. And I go in the store, and I'm in the store, and I heard the lady whispering, and I'm like, well, she looking at me. Oh, you Lorri Brown? Can I get your autograph? I'm like, my autograph? So I'm like, oh, yeah, I want your autograph. She, hey, I'm in here with Lorri Brown, the Lorri Brown. I'm like, okay, let me write my autograph. I feel so special now. As soon as I gave that lady my autograph, she gave me $500.
What?
The
That's
check
wonderful.
that I had just wrote was for $4. So I left the basket there. I said, let me run to Wells Fargo so this check don't bounce and Randy don't get on me. I got the money. So it's just,
wow.
It's mind blowing when you know God is the author of what you're doing. When you know He's the author of and you see it. You see it.
Yeah.
You live it and you see it.
Yeah, I think that's another huge lesson for us today, Lorri, is that if you feel a calling, if you, a lot of us know that there's something else there, right? That there's something that we aren't living up to our potential, or that, we would love to do this, but we're scared. We're like, you can live your calling. You can start anywhere, first of all, but you can also, you can find so much joy and so much abundance in just listening to what you are being called to do, whether you believe it's from God or source or your inner intuition, whatever it is that's driving you. You can find that, and you can live your passion, and you can help people.
I think I found mine when Randy and I first started this in 2011. We were feeding the homeless people. You all ever go downtown and you see how they're encamped under the bridges? So That's what we started doing. We started just fixing meals at home and taking it down there, feeding everybody every day. We did this. Then restaurants would give us food, pizzas and burgers. So we would prepare nice stuff to go with it, and just me, him, and my 2 grandkids. We would go down there and do this. So one day, some men was standing around. I think I still had that picture on the website. And I was bending down to give this man a meal. He say, "I don't want shit from you." And I looked at him. I said, "Excuse me?" He say, "You pull up in your fancy BMW and then you expect to give me something to eat?" And I backed up and I had the sandwich in my hand. And I turned around, I looked at my car, and I turned back around and looked at him. I said, "Let me tell you something." I say, "That BMW you're looking at is paid for." I say, "I could have drove right past here in this BMW, but instead it's loaded up with food for somebody like you. That BMW don't make me. That's not who I am. I just happen to find a BMW on sale. I love the color green because I like money. I love the color green, and I got it. However, you could take the sandwich or you don't have to take the sandwich. But tomorrow I'll be back in that same BMW to bring more sandwiches." So he turned his head. I walked out. So the next day, we went back down there. He was in the same little spot. I walked right past him. He didn't say nothing to me. The third day, we went back. He said, "Hey," and I turned around. I looked at him. He said, "Come here." He said, "You right." He said, "So many of them have the cars and they could care less about us because all they care about is their car." He said, "But I've been watching you." He said, "This is your heart." I said, "It is my heart." I said, "But I guarantee you this. When I come back next week, you won't see the BMW." I sold that BMW so quick because in my heart, it wasn't about a BMW to me. The BMW helped me get down there to get you this food, but yet and still, I decided then, yes, my dad had money, and every year he got whatever new car it was. That's not the perception I want. I kind of want to be like Jesus. Give me something plain and simple so I can go to the plain and simple and be understood. I don't need no fancy vehicle. You can't give me one. If I won the lottery tomorrow, I wouldn't go buy one. Give me my plain and simple so that when I meet the plain and simple, we on one accord. I'm not no better than you. I don't want to portray to be better than you. All I want to do is help you some kind of way that the Lord has already planned for me to help you. It's not about materialistic things with me because I am not a materialistic person. You can get the shirt off of my back. I've given, you asked them, another story I have for you. A lady came to us one time, freezing cold. I had just purchased my coat, freezing cold to get some food. I said, "Baby, where's your coat?" She said, "I don't have one." My mom was sitting right there. I took that coat right off. I said, "Here, now you do." She said, "Oh my God, you can't get, girl, take this coat. Get this coat and go on. Now you have a coat." So when you can be like this with people, you're being who you are. And this, what you see with me is what you get. Nothing fake, nothing phony. I'm going to tell you how I feel. You may not like it, but it was the truth. But this is who you get. This is me. This is who you get. You don't, your child hungry at 11 o'clock at night and you call me. "Here's my address. Come get it. It's on the porch." How many agencies? After 5, the agencies they go. They home. Right. They tell you, that's my time for my family. And I can't say nothing against that. But see, God put it in my heart. No, your time for your family is for my people. So when the need comes to you, I don't care what time it is, you're going to serve my people. So I'm the one that have to be the one. When they call, one lady called this morning, she said, I expected to get the answering machine. I said, no, you got the real person, ma'am. What can I do? You got me. What you want? What you need? But no, people call late nights, 8, 9, don't have food. Me and mama would go take the food to them. I don't have transportation. Mama said, come on, get the food. She beat me to the car. Come on. Where them people at? You got the address? Come on, let's go. Them people hungry. You got to serve them people. Come on. But I'm the only one out here that will do that, because everybody else, their time is for their family. But God already told me, you got a different agenda. I'm giving you something.
Yeah.
I'm giving you, you're going to stand out because you're going to be different. And I am. Because Lorri will tell you, it's nonstop with me. And it's all about the people. All about the people. A lot of times I want to travel sometime, but I can't. But when that opportune time does come and God give it to me, he lets me know. You need a break. This is your time right here to go somewhere. And I take it. But oftentimes, this is who I am. This is what I do. Christmas, December 16th, we have our event where we will give these kids their toys. They're going to eat breakfast with Santa. And we're just going to have a good day with these kids, foster kids, seniors. We're going to ravish over them. Christmas morning, I probably will make a post and say, whose child doesn't have anything for Christmas? Come by my house. Don't let your child know. Just come by my house so that you can get something to give your child. This is who I am.
I love it, Lorri.
Yeah.
Renee said, you have really touched her heart today. She said, thank you. We need more angels like you on this earth.
Thank you, Renee.
Yeah. And Lorri said, sure, is all about the people for you. And so you can definitely see that, Lorri. And, I think the biggest message as well that you said is that we also have to be careful about judging people, judging people that are helping, judging people that need help. That we all come from a different backgrounds. We all have things, sometimes certain people need a little bit more. Like for me, I have to make sure that I am giving myself self-care, just because I know that in order for me to be able to be at my best and help people, I can't burn myself out. And so I know that about me. So everyone has to know themselves and how far they can go, because ultimately the mission is making sure that you are able to do your purpose, whatever that might be. And so I think that if we do a lot less judging in life and do more heart work in understanding what our heart is telling us versus what our mind is telling us, that's really where amazing things can happen.
Exactly. I agree.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you joining us so much today. And
Thank you,
I know
Sarah.
that
Thank you, Kate.
Yes, you inspired us. I think you inspired our audience to think about things a little bit differently, not just during the holidays, but looking at how we can give back in whatever way might fit for us. And, whether it's a service, whether it's volunteering, whether it is money, whether it is things that we're thinking we don't need, thinking about the fact that other people, just keeping those things on your mind as you are dealing with things day in, day out, and that this isn't just a end of the year Thanksgiving and Christmas time. It really should be throughout the year. Need help.
Yes, throughout the year.
Yeah.
Thank you, ladies.
Yeah. Stephanie said, I'm on your website as we speak. So let's make sure to post the website and the Facebook group, just to, help promote you further. And I know that our audience is from all over the country. So you probably have, little organizations near you that you could help as well. But let's continue to promote Lorri Brown and Dream Chasers 21, and let this, fuel your life, your holiday
Yes.
spirit, your Friday,
Yes.
think of others as much as you can,
Mm-hmm.
and remember to listen to that calling. Let
Mm-hmm.
Lori's story motivate you.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.